simple proposition. Who do you love? And will you be loyal to that person you love? It's not more complicated than that.
History is made. Before a crowd of thousands, President Biden signed the Respect for Marriage Act, granting federal protection to same-sex and interracial marriages. Tonight, a closer look at what the law does and does not do. Once on top of a crypto empire, the former CEO of cryptocurrency exchange FTX is federally indicted. Sam Bankman-Fried is accused of the billion-dollar collapse of his company, and prosecutors say he used an age-old scheme to rob new-age clients. From tornadoes to paralyzing blizzards, the wicked winter weather ripping across the country. Your freedom to light up could come at the cost of the personal freedom for some farm workers. ABC News is taking you inside the human cost of many illegal marijuana farms here in the U.S., tended by workers who endure abuse and often are not paid.
It's the human factor to see the conditions that these people are being put in every single day to the point that they're literally dying is heartbreaking.
Meg Thee Stallion takes the stand. The superstar describes when she says a fellow rapper shot at her, hitting her in the foot, detailing her fear, physical pain, and confusion in those tense moments. The latest in a high-profile trial that has the artist Tory Lanez maintaining his innocence. It's a mix of Google and human-like conversational abilities, all in the form of a free piece of technology. How artificial intelligence bot ChatGPT could change the world, and concerns it could put millions out of work. It's being hailed as a tremendous scientific breakthrough. For the first time, researchers have harnessed fusion energy, giving them the ability to eventually create a nearly limitless carbon-free supply of clean energy. How this could transform the way we use energy and just how long it will take to become a reality.
Simply put, this is one of the most impressive scientific feats of the 21st century.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us. He was once hailed a crypto genius, but tonight we begin with the latest chapter in the stunning fall of the founder and former CEO of cryptocurrency giant FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried now faces fraud and other charges, accused of building a house of cards and stealing billions of dollars from investors and customers. While some believe cryptocurrency is the future, in the SEC civil complaint filed today, Bankman-Fried is accused of perpetrating an age-old scheme, stealing from his clients and using their money for his own personal benefit. You can see Bankman-Fried leaving court in the Bahamas late today after his application for bail was denied because a judge determined that he would be a flight risk. This comes after authorities there arrested him yesterday at the request of the Southern District of New York. That 8-count criminal indictment was unsealed this morning. Among the slew of charges, Bankman-Fried is accused of lying to investors from the very start. So what comes next, and when might Bankman-Fried arrive back in the U.S.? Our chief business correspondent Rebecca Jarvis leads us off.
Tonight, the founder of FTX, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world, now charged in a scheme that investigators say stole billions of dollars from customers and investors.
This is one of the biggest financial frauds in American history.
Sam Bankman-Fried fighting extradition from the Bahamas as he faces SEC charges and 8 counts of criminal fraud, including money laundering and wire fraud. The major political donor also accused of violating campaign finance laws.
He used that money for his personal benefit, including to make personal investments and to cover expenses and debts of his hedge fund, Alameda Research.
But in an interview with our George Stephanopoulos just 2 weeks ago, Bankman-Fried repeatedly denied knowing FTX funds were improperly being used for his hedge fund, Alameda Research.
I don't know of FTX deposits being used to pay off Alameda creditors.
FTX customers alone were defrauded over $8 billion, according to federal authorities.
Are you worried about going to jail?
There are a lot of things that are worrying me right now. Let whatever, regulatory and legal processes are happening play out as they will.
The 30-year-old once celebrated as the poster child for transparency in crypto. His company, FTX, valued at $32 billion earlier this year, attracting amateur investors and partnering with celebs like Steph Curry and Tom Brady, but imploding nearly a month ago with FTX filing for bankruptcy and Bankman-Fried stepping down as CEO. And tonight, the new FTX CEO, John Ray, testifying on Capitol Hill.
This is really old-fashioned embezzlement. This is just taking money from customers and using it for your own purpose. Not sophisticated at all.
They're making this seem all very cut and dry. Rebecca Jarvis joins us now. So, Rebecca, Bankman-fried was supposed to appear before that congressional hearing today on Zoom, but he was in a Nassau court instead. Where is he tonight?
Tonight, Lindsay, he is in jail in the Bahamas. A federal judge, or rather a judge in the Bahamas, just denying Sam Bankman-fried bail, calling him a flight risk. The attorney for Bankman-fried telling ABC News that he's considering all legal options, Lindsay.
And what are the chances that any of the money that customers lost, the billions of dollars, will be recovered?
It is a giant sum, nearly unfathomable. And Lindsay, it is very unlikely that they will see that money anytime soon, if ever. Legal experts and finance experts tell us it is likely that money was long ago traded away by the hedge fund, if these allegations are correct. Lindsay?
Wow, just devastating for so many. Rebecca Jarvis, our thanks to you. Tonight, there is a major storm barreling across the country. More than 30 states are on high alert, from California all the way to Maine. There are tornado watches and warnings and blizzard conditions and possibly days of heavy snow ahead. Take a look at these treacherous conditions that drivers faced in North Dakota. And tonight, the threat is moving east. Rob Marciano will have the forecast in a moment. But first, a look at more of the images coming in from this massive storm.
Tonight, a massive multi-state severe weather outbreak now underway.
Oh my gosh!
This twister touching down near Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. Passengers in the terminal urged to shelter immediately. Just north in the city of Grapevine, roofs ripped apart, sheets of metal wrapped around power lines, and at least 5 people injured. Our Maria Villarreal is there.
The power is out here in the heart of Grapevine. Residents say the storm blew through here quickly, but it only took seconds to knock these power lines out and damage a number of businesses.
Dave Canis has lived there for more than 2 decades.
You can see the damage that it did just in an instant, which is incredible. I've never seen anything like that here in Grapevine.
Across the border in Wayne, Oklahoma, a confirmed EF2 tornado touching down there just before sunrise, with winds of at least 120 miles per hour. And on the cold side of the system, a blizzard. The blinding snow and winds gusting over 50 miles an hour, shutting down a portion of I-70 east of Denver to the Kansas state line. Officials in South Dakota shutting down more than 250 miles of I-90. As much as 2 feet of snow possible in the upper Midwest, this storm pushing all the way to the East Coast through the week.
Everyone getting a bit of a taste of winter now. Rob Marciano joins us now. Rob, time these storms out for us.
Well, we'll start with the tornado threat, Lindsay. That's the most dangerous part of this thing. What makes December tornadoes so tough is they're not driven like spring tornadoes. This has a strong sun. These tornadoes are driven by strong wind dynamics, which don't quit when the sun goes down. So we're just getting started with this, and it's going to continue well into the overnight and then really right through tomorrow. Multiple tornado watches and warnings have been posted all day long. A large tornado just southwest of Shreveport earlier today, that's dissipated, but more supercells are popping and crossing the Louisiana border at about 45 miles per hour. It all sags east and south overnight, and by tomorrow morning, it's just east of Alexandria, kind of stalling around Baton Rouge, where a wave develops along it. And that'll probably spawn more supercells, maybe right over New Orleans, then into Mobile, and then pushing slowly into the Florida Panhandle. Southern Alabama and Georgia will have severe storms as well into Thursday morning, and then that situation, more cold with this, including snow, pushes up into the Northeast late Thursday into Friday. Multiple inches of snow expected into interior parts of New York. Winter storm watches are now posted there, but this is nothing compared to what the Midwest has endured and is still enduring with those blizzard warnings. We've got a couple more that now added for parts of Minnesota, Duluth included, and we could see a couple more feet of snow on top of what we've already seen. So that means, 20 inches potentially in and around and outside of Rapid City and Duluth, Minnesota, and the winds will crank as well. So blinding, blowing snow probably continuing right through the weekend. But by far the most life-threatening, dangerous weather will be here in Louisiana tonight and tomorrow. Lindsay?
All right, Rob, our thanks to you. Now to the celebration at the White House, with thousands on the lawn to witness the enactment of the Respect for Marriage Act signed into law today by President Biden. ABC's senior White House correspondent Mary Bruce was there and has more on the ceremony.
Today, in front of a joyous crowd of thousands, President Biden signing into law protections for same-sex and interracial marriage.
Today's a good day. A day America takes a vital step toward equality.
Biden today noting it's been 10 years since he publicly supported same-sex marriage ahead of his boss, then President Obama.
Marriage is a simple proposition. Who do you love? And will you be loyal to that person you love? It's not more complicated than that. And the law recognizes that everyone should have the right to answer those questions for themselves without the government interference.
The Respect for Marriage Act is an effort to protect marriage after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in June. In his concurring opinion, Justice Clarence Thomas called on the court to reconsider decisions that legalized same-sex marriage. The new law does not guarantee the right to marry, but it does require states to honor and recognize all marriages.
It's one thing for the Supreme Court to rule on a case, but it's another thing entirely if elected representatives of the people to take a vote on the floor of the United States Congress and say loudly and clearly, love is love. Right is right. Justice is justice.
And let's get right to Mary Bruce, who joins us from the White House. Mary, polls do show that more than 70% of Americans support same-sex marriage. And if this law, of course, was passed in a very rare bipartisan vote.
This was a bipartisan victory, gaining support of 39 Republicans in the House and 12 in the Senate. But the majority of Republicans still opposing, arguing that the bill simply wasn't necessary. Now, as for Biden, this is more than just a landmark piece of legislation. This is really about his legacy and his own evolution on this issue, really coming full circle to now go ahead and be able to make and sign into law these protections for marriage equality. Lindsay.
All right, Mary Bruce for us from the White House. Thanks so much, Mary.
Thank you.
For more on this, let's bring in ABC's Devin Dwyer. Devin, a lot of celebration today, but just give us a reality check as far as what this law does do and doesn't do in order to protect same-sex marriage nationwide.
Yeah, well, first, Lindsay, we should say that even without this law, same-sex and interracial marriage, as you know, is legal. It's guaranteed nationwide. The Supreme Court established constitutional rights to marriage in several cases, and no state right now can turn any couple away on the basis of sexual orientation or race. So that stands. What this law does, though, is creates a backstop in the event the Supreme Court overturns those precedents. Take a look here at a little bit of what's in the act. It requires the federal government in every state to legally recognize same-sex and interracial marriages and provide all the benefits that go with that. But what the law does not do, Lindsay, is create a universal right to marriage under federal law. If the Supreme Court were to overturn those precedents, and there's nothing in the law preventing them from doing that, states could once again be free to refuse to issue same-sex or even interracial marriage licenses to couples. And many states, Lindsay, have old laws on the books. 32 states before 2015, when the Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage, had bans on the books, and those are still in force and could potentially snap back if the Supreme Court acts.
So is there any appetite on the Supreme Court to revisit the precedent from 2015 making same-sex marriage legal?
Yeah, there certainly is appetite from at least several conservative justices on the Supreme Court. Of course, Justice Clarence Thomas, most famous among them, he set all of this into motion, writing that concurring opinion in June where he said explicitly he wants the court to reconsider precedents protecting the right to same-sex marriage, same-sex intimacy, contraception, among other things. He said that reasoning in those cases is egregiously wrong. But it's far from clear right now, Lindsay, that there are even 4 justices needed to take up a case that would get into those things. And we should make clear there's no imminent case right now on the horizon that would even go there. So the bottom line is that the law today is significant, but it's limited as a backstop for the Supreme Court should they decide to get into the business of looking at these constitutional rights for marriage in the years ahead, Lindsay.
Significant but limited really puts it in a good perspective for us there. Devin Dwyer, our thanks to you as always.
Thanks, Lindsay.
All right, imagine a small-town store owner living a double life, selling crafts by day and after hours, using his home to smuggle nuclear technology to Russia. This might seem like a scene out of the popular TV spy drama The Americans, but tonight federal authorities are leveling accusations that this is in fact real life. Today, prosecutors busted an alleged international smuggling ring. ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas has the details.
Tonight, in a quiet New Hampshire community, authorities say in this home with Frosty the Snowman right out front is more than it appears to be. Hardly a simple American tale. Turns out the neighbor next door is a man accused of aiding the Russians in an international smuggling ring. Alexei Brayman is one of 7 suspects indicted on numerous conspiracy charges for allegedly running a covert operation to smuggle advanced electronics and sophisticated testing equipment from the U.S. to the Kremlin, including bullets and materials used in developing nuclear and hypersonic weapons that could be used by the Russian military. Neighbors shocked by the news.
One thing very odd I noticed is that there's always a lot of boxes there. And then when I heard this news, I thought, wow, this is strange.
The Justice Department says that Brayman and others in the network were secretly working for Russian intelligence with ties to this man, Vadim Koznochesnuk, who is a member of the FSB, the successor to the KGB and Russia's version of the CIA. The defendants are accused of creating shell companies based in the U.S. and then illegally shipping millions of dollars in equipment and technology to Russia, often pretending they were being routed to countries like Germany.
And Pierre Thomas joins us now. Pierre, what more can you tell us about the indictments?
Well, Lindsay, the Attorney General says these indictments are part of an ongoing effort to stop Russia from sidestepping sanctions after their invasion of Ukraine. So an ongoing effort to stop them from fueling their war effort. Lindsay?
All right, Pierre Thomas for us. Thanks so much, Pierre. We turn now to the war in Ukraine and a major new step in U.S. military aid. The Pentagon is now preparing to send the Patriot missile defense system to Ukraine as Russia escalates its attacks. Ukraine has been asking for more sophisticated defense systems for months. So what does this mean now for the fight? Here's ABC's Tom Sufi-Burridge reporting in from Ukraine.
A top Ukrainian defense official tells ABC News tonight that if the U.S. provides long-range Patriot missile systems, it would be, quote, a game changer in the war. Sources confirming President Biden now poised to sign off as early as this week on a plan to give the Ukrainians the advanced missile systems if the Pentagon gives its final okay. Months of Russian airstrikes have crippled the power grid here, often leaving millions in the cold and dark as temperatures plunge below freezing. The US and its allies have already supplied an array of new air defense systems. But the Ukrainians have been asking for the high-tech Patriots for months. The Pentagon has been reluctant. One reason, concern over how the Kremlin would react. But Ukrainian air defense becoming a priority because of relentless Russian attacks.
They will be able to shoot Russian aircraft out to 100 miles. Its radar is much more sophisticated, able to engage 8 targets at a time.
If these complex air defense systems are approved for Ukraine, officials say the U.S. will start training Ukrainian troops in Germany on the Patriots in a few weeks. Lindsay?
Tom, thank you. Next to the historic breakthrough that's being called the holy grail of a clean energy future. Today, scientists announced that they were able to reproduce the power of the sun and create the possibility for limitless clean energy with no carbon emissions and no nuclear waste. It could literally transform how we power the world and help save our planet. Our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, reports.
Tonight, that revolutionary breakthrough, scientists reproducing the power of the sun inside a lab. The Department of Energy announcing today for the first time, researchers at the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in California produced a nuclear fusion reaction, considered the holy grail of clean energy production.
Simply put, this is one of the most impressive scientific feats of the 21st century.
On December 5th, the lab used a stadium-sized laser apparatus to blast a tiny cylinder housing hydrogen material the width of a human hair.
The fusion that you were able to create could have powered the entire power grid of the world, basically.
For about 100 trillionths of a second, this is the brightest thing on Earth.
Essentially, he says yes for a fraction of a second. But the challenge, how do you keep producing it and turn it into energy that could serve the nation's power grid, homes, communities? Fusion is the process of combining hydrogen atoms to create energy. The only byproduct, helium, essentially producing what the sun produces, sunlight and warmth. And tonight, after decades of experiments, the finding they were hoping for. They managed to produce even more energy than scientists put into the experiment. The first step, scientists say, towards near limitless energy.
So in other words, we're talking about the energy of the universe being harnessed right here on the planet Earth.
The scientific milestone coming as the push to replace fossil fuels is more urgent than ever, with climate change pushing temperatures to catastrophic levels.
This milestone moves us one significant step closer to the possibility of zero carbon, abundant fusion energy powering our society.
Exciting stuff. Matt Gutman joins us now. Matt, this is still years down the road, but the potential here just seems enormous.
The potential is limitless, Lindsay, and scientists are telling us that we're going to have to re-examine the way that we even view the world. There's going to be so much energy available to us all. But we're going to have to wait a little bit. It'll be about 10 or 15 years before fusion becomes commercially viable. And it won't be until about 2050, mid-century-ish, when they will actually begin to replace power plants that run on fossil fuels like the ones behind me. So we'll have to wait. There are obviously a couple of competing different ways to get to fusion, but they say we are definitely on the right path. Lindsay.
And it is at least on the horizon. Matt Gutman, our thanks to you as always. When we come back, a massive fire breaks out at a warehouse with crucial police evidence stored inside. Rapper Megan Thee Stallion takes the stand against Tory Lanez. What she says they were arguing about just moments before she was shot. But up next, the nearly year-long ABC News Live investigation as more states legalize marijuana. Could it be coming at the expense of some farm workers' freedoms? Stay with us. This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers.
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
Here at the White House. Destructive Cat 4 storm.
Here along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go. We made it.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7 straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes.
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're going to love it.
Bring them on. If only there was a place in the morning to start my day. With a smile, somewhere to help me get in the know. A place as spectacular as, well, me.
I think we might know a place, right, guys?
Bring your friends. Oh, wait, there is.
Good morning, America.
GMA, 7A, every day. Boom, boom, boom. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Robin. Good morning, America. How are you?
Boom. Now that's how you start your day, people.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 12 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
With so much happening these days, it's hard to keep up.
Things change hour by hour, minute by minute.
The historic weather that's now unfolding.
The worries on Wall Street.
We're bringing you the Right Now. Been a nationwide teacher shortage.
The Right Now look at the day ahead. An alert this morning for dog owners and the key takeaways from the biggest stories.
World News Now and America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
Today does feel a little different. Early mornings on ABC News Live.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television. So, what's good to read? And we mean really good to read right now. Well, that's where Charlie and Kate Gibson can help.
Join us for the new podcast series. It is called The Bookcase with Kate and Charlie.
We will make sure you love what you read.
Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
As of today, in a big way, we have inaugurated abcnews.com.
A lot has changed in our world since Peter made that announcement. But what hasn't changed is the commitment to groundbreaking reporting and innovation at abcnews.com. And here's to everything ahead.
Take a look at the massive plumes of thick smoke filling the air as a fire burned through a warehouse in Brooklyn. This was not an ordinary warehouse. It's actually an NYPD building used to impound vehicles that are confiscated and to store evidence, including years of cold case files. Investigators aren't yet sure how many of those documents have been destroyed. Officials say that this fire could burn for days. Next to the ABC News Live year-long investigation, it's been 10 years since recreational marijuana first became legalized, but law enforcement officials are now sounding the alarms. They tell us legalization has not stopped cartels from making money off of marijuana or stopped them from exploiting the people who are illegally growing it for them. And in some cases, they claim the exploitation has had deadly consequences. So we sent Maria Villarreal to Oregon, where marijuana is legal, and officials say people are being trafficked and working in slave-like conditions to grow this plant, which is now legal in nearly half the country.
Many thought legalization would be the end of scenes like this.
This is the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Exit the building and walk towards the large green vehicle.
Legal marijuana is growing in the U.S.
Marijuana on the market has become a legitimate billion-dollar business.
President Joe Biden pardoning those with prior federal convictions of simple marijuana possession.
It's already legal in many states.
Come out with your hands empty and above your head.
But as states continue to legalize recreational cannabis, a growing chorus of officials warn that for some, America's freedom to smoke may be coming at the cost of actual personal freedoms for some farm workers.
Con la pistola en mano nos dijo, nadie sale de aquí.
One more. 6 total so far from the second group.
It's the human factor to see the conditions that these people are being put in every single day to the point that they're literally dying is heartbreaking.
Over the last year, ABC News has been tracking the underbelly of legalization.
Lights on the black pickup are flashing.
Law enforcement storming onto farms, sifting through lush green fields of illegally grown marijuana to find the squalid conditions for farm workers who tend to these crops, some of them not getting paid.
We have drug trafficking organizations that are keeping people in slavery.
They don't have bathrooms. They're forced to sleep in tents. Others who have been sold into prostitution at night.
Nos tuvimos que quedar ahí, nos íbamos por 15 días y nos tuvimos que quedar un mes porque los señores, hasta que no termináramos la mota de trimear, teníamos que salir de ahí. Si salíamos, nos apuntaban con la pistola.
This single mother of 3 who asked that we alter her voice and not show her face, recalling the horror that she says she endured.
Yo oré por todos los que íbamos porque temíamos que un día podían ellos agarrar su mismo lo que era y balacearnos a todos.
They call this Rogue Valley, tucked away in far southwest Oregon between the Cascade Range and Siskiyou Mountains, graced with freshwater streams and blessed with favorable temperatures almost year-round. This part of the country is like a farmer's dream.
This is the first time in my life where I felt like I had a deep connection with the earth.
Chris Hall moved here back in 2012, almost immediately taking advantage of the area's perfect growing conditions.
We were able to work the land, grow gardens, and in fact, we even grew cannabis. We did that under the authority of the Oregon Medical Marijuana Program.
In 2015, Oregon's Governor Kate Brown legalized the sale of marijuana for recreational use. The move was supposed to help the state generate tax revenue and curb the black market. But years later, authorities say cartels are taking advantage of the limited oversight by blending into communities and could be potentially running thousands of unlicensed marijuana farms.
We've had bodies show up at a station that have been dropped off because they've literally been worked to death.
Robert Hammer is the special agent in charge of Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, for the Pacific Northwest. Just over a year ago, the news of a dying man being left on the side of the road at this gas station in southern Oregon set off alarm bells for his team.
We responded to a state and local call where they had a 911 call where a body had been dropped off at a local gas station. And we were able to track that back as a worker on one of the farms.
Is it safe to call these people narco slaves?
Given what I've seen, I feel that that is a very accurate title. I think that this is solely focused on the narcotics from the cartel perspective. That's how they're making their money. And they're making it on the backs of the exploitation of these people. I can guarantee you that they would tell us today that they were slaves if they could.
But how many captive farm workers are out there is anyone's guess. HSI is now working closely with state and local law enforcement to target these illegal farms and root out the cartels.
They're organizations, as you would think of as a corporation in the United States. They're very sophisticated. We are seeing the exploitation of our real estate markets. We're seeing the exploitation of our banking industry, all related to this ever-growing threat down there.
We embedded with HSI on a joint raid with local authorities in October.
We are about 15 miles outside of Medford, and we're in a convoy headed to the raid site with about 30 other vehicles.
On this property, about 20 miles outside Medford, agents found 17 workers and a 2-year-old toddler. A total of 3 neighboring properties were raided. At this site, law enforcement says they counted a little over 100 illegal greenhouses, more than 8,500 black market marijuana plants, and 7,000 pounds of processed illegal cannabis.
We're not trying to look at it as, oh, this is just another marijuana operation. We're really trying to focus on the fact that this is the exploitation of people. This is the destruction of the environment through illegal pesticides.
After each raid, authorities bulldoze and demolish the grow site in order to keep the illegal farm from resurfacing. But more than 70 miles away, scenes from a different raid frozen in time, clues to just how widespread this problem could be.
It's a landfill, and it's going to take a huge amount of work to clean this back up. So on all of these sites, of which there were hundreds of them, this is just one place. People were living, and to use the term narco-slave is not hyperbole. People were living in slave conditions. They were not allowed to leave the properties. They were under armed guards. There were insufficient places to use the bathroom.
The owner was completely unaware of what was happening on his property.
But a month ago, this place was run by an organized crime syndicate. The organized crime syndicates that were running this particular operation, they trespassed onto this property. The landowner who lives in Phoenix just didn't know what was going on.
Concerned about these illegal grow sites and the people being forced to work here, Chris decided to do something about it, taking to the skies to gather and map the farms in a job for the local government, where he says he found hundreds.
So over 700 grow areas.
Almost 800, yeah.
Are illegal.
Were never licensed, yes. So the regulation is, theoretically, it's up in Salem. However, the problem is so big, and Salem was caught off guard so fast and so quickly, the state really had no ability to respond to it. Our local sheriff used the cliche that it's like drinking out of a fire hose.
Recently, Oregon finalized rules that would require licensed farms and their employees to report any suspected sex or human trafficking. It's unclear whether the new rules will have any impact for the hundreds of illegal farms Chris says he found during his flight.
The human toll is impossible to hide from. It's impossible to get away from.
This is in your backyard?
It's in my backyard. It is happening here in Cave Junction. It is happening throughout Southwest Oregon, and it's happening throughout the northern parts of California.
Victims, once silent, sharing their harrowing stories they will likely never forget.
Se siente horrible, horrible, te sientes humillada, pisoteada, te sientes burlada, con ganas de morirte. Es algo horrible que se siente. Es una impotencia, no puedo explicar eso, da mucho coraje.
We thank Maria for this eye-opening report. And this is just part one of our investigation into the issue. Tomorrow on Prime, we'll explore the people trafficked and victimized in the process. And tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific, be sure to watch THC, The Human Cost, our investigation looking into all of this. Still ahead here on Prime, what the latest inflation report is revealing about prices as we head into the holidays. The new artificial intelligence tool that some believe could rival Google. The NBA is renaming a major award after Michael Jordan. We take a look at why he's considered basketball's greatest of all time by the numbers. But first, our tweet of the day. BTS says a fond farewell to one of its members, Jin, as he heads to the military. Service is mandatory for men in South Korea.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
This is where I belong. This is home. Real dirt in the sunlight again. I'm very excited. Anything could happen at any moment. My heart is so happy right now. We're making magic. We're making magic.
With so much at stake in our world right now, we wanted to thank you for your trust and for making ABC News America's #1 news.
And thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
This was a terrible experience.
Ticketmaster gaslighting us.
The website fully crashed.
Nightmare.
So what went wrong?
Everything.
This is really unprecedented.
All of these things were preventable.
Does any part of you blame Taylor?
Ticketmaster or whomever else has to figure out how to solve this before Beyonce announces her tour.
Taylor's Ticketmaster disaster. Impact by Nightline. Now streaming on Hulu.
Zoo!
200!
Oh, 200. 200 episodes of Dr. Pol. Music to my ears.
It's been 10 years, and I'm still having fun.
That rocks. He's got the moves that make your animals groove.
Now we do the dance of joy. Yay!
He's like the Justin Bieber of the headlining the hottest barns.
Shout out!
It's a show you won't want to miss.
I'm not going to be here forever. Maybe.
The Incredible Dr. Pol. New episodes Saturdays at 9 on Nat Geo Wild.
This is ABC News Live Prime.
Thanks so much for streaming with us.
Live reporting, breaking news, exclusives, award-winning, powerful, eye-opening. ABC News Live Prime with Lindsay Davis, streaming weeknights. So, what's good to read? And we mean really good to read right now. Well, that's where Charlie and Kate Gibson can help.
Join us for the new podcast series. It is called The Bookcase with Kate and Charlie.
We will make sure you love what you read.
Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back, everyone. The NBA announced today that it's renaming its annual regular season MVP award after the legendary Michael Jordan. Let's take a look by the numbers. The newly designed Michael Jordan Trophy is one of 6 reimagined trophies named after league pioneers that will be presented for the NBA's end-of-season awards. The Chicago Bulls great won 5 MVP awards during his 15 seasons in the league. Only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar won more with 6 MVP awards. The new bronze trophy was designed to honor Jordan's career. It stands at 23.6 inches tall and weighs 23.6 pounds, representing his jersey number 23 and his 6 championship rings. And the crystal basketball topping it also has 23 points. The trophy's base has 5 sides, a nod to his 5 MVP awards, and it's angled at 15 degrees, representing his 15-season career. And while some may still debate just who is the greatest of all time, few can match up to the Hall of Famer's 6 NBA championships, 6 NBA Finals MVP awards, 11 All-NBA team selections, 14 All-Star selections, 3 All-Star Game MVP awards, 10 scoring titles, an NBA Defensive Player of the Year award, an NBA Rookie of the Year award, and his selections to the NBA's 50th and 75th anniversary teams. And we still have lots to get to here on Prime tonight. A Michael Jordan connection, the barrier-breaking golfers chronicling their journey from winning championships to collaborating with a legend. And And the health issue a young actress says caused her years of pain and ultimately led to surgery. But first, a look at our top trending stories on abcnews.com.
So much happening these days, it's hard to keep up.
Things change hour by hour, minute by minute.
The historic weather that's now unfolding.
The worries on Wall Street.
We're bringing you the Right Now. Been a nationwide teacher shortage.
The Right Now look at the day ahead. An alert this morning for dog owners and the key takeaways from the biggest stories.
World News Now and America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
Today does feel a little different. Early mornings on ABC News Live.
This is where I belong. This is home. Real dirt in the sunlight again. I'm very excited. Anything could happen at any moment. My heart is so happy right now. We're making magic. We're making magic.
This was a terrible experience.
Ticketmaster gaslighting us.
The website fully crashed.
Nightmare. So what went wrong?
Everything.
This is really unprecedented.
All of these things were preventable.
Does any part of you blame Taylor?
Ticketmaster or whomever else has to figure out how to solve this before Beyonce announces her tour.
Taylor's Ticketmaster disaster. Impact by Nightline. Now streaming on Hulu.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're gonna love it.
Now streaming on ABC News Live. 2020. True crime. Cinematic. Real-life drama. Stunning. The unthinkable. Follow the clues. The Hunt. True crime. 2020. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 12 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-fried is fighting extradition to the U.S., where he'd face criminal and civil charges related to the bankruptcy of the large cryptocurrency firm he ran. Meantime, the company, once valued at $32 billion, is now being steered through bankruptcy by John Ray, who appeared on Capitol Hill and was blunt in his assessment.
The FTX Group's collapse appears to stem from absolute concentration of control in the hands of a small group of grossly inexperienced and unsophisticated individuals.
DOJ delivered an 8-count criminal indictment against Bankman-fried, accusing him of conspiracy, fraud, and campaign finance violations.
Prices of consumer goods are dropping, leading to a better-than-expected consumer price index. Inflation rose slower last month, up 7.1% from 1 year ago, and down sharply from October. President Biden says it is encouraging, but says there's more work to do.
Make no mistake, prices are still too high. We have a lot more work to do, but things are getting better, headed in the right direction.
The Federal Reserve is expected to issue another rate hike tomorrow to help tame inflation faster.
Fox Corporation Chairman Rupert Murdoch is being questioned in a lawsuit over his network's coverage of unfounded claims of election fraud in the 2020 presidential election. Murdoch's deposition comes as part of Dominion Voting Systems' $1.6 billion defamation suit against Fox News over allegations that the network spread false claims that Dominion's machines rigged the election in favor of Joe Biden. The lawsuit alleges that Fox News' anchors pushed the claims to boost ratings and allowed guests like Sidney Powell, Rudy Giuliani, and Mike Lindell to promote them in interviews on the network. Fox News has insisted its reports on the claims were protected under the First Amendment. Legendary head football coach Mike Leach has passed away. Mississippi State University announced that Leach had died from complications from a heart condition. Leach spent 21 seasons as a college football head coach, working at Texas Tech, Washington State, and Mississippi State, and was a two-time National Coach of the Year. He was also known for his success with a prolific air raid offense and was popular with fans and the media for his blunt interviews and folksy attitude. Leach was completing his third season at Mississippi State, with the Bulldogs scheduled to play in the ReliaQuest Bowl on January 2nd. Leach was 61 years old.
18-year-old Marseille Martin, one of the youngest stars of the hit series Blackish, revealing on Instagram she recently had surgery to remove a large ovarian cyst after being in constant pain for more than 4 years. And writing, "I am very grateful to have family and educators by my side in support of this process. Doctors say ovarian cysts are common and usually do not cause any harm. The condition peaks in frequency for adolescents at age 15, with about 1 in 3 having an ovarian cyst at that age, based on past studies."
Netflix says the first 3 episodes of the Harry and Meghan documentary had the largest debut for a documentary on the streaming service. The numbers come as the royal family braces for the next set of episodes and the couple's new claims about how they were treated.
The Sussexes are taking aim, and they look set to present Harry's side of the story on the fallout with his father, King Charles, and brother, Prince William. The first 3 episodes of the docuseries gave a glimpse at the early days of the couple's relationship and the beginning of their fraught relationship with the media. This final installment may make for another explosive chapter in this royal saga.
I've always felt as though this was a fight worth fighting for.
Day 2 of the trial against rapper Tory Lanez included highly anticipated testimony today. Rapper Megan Thee Stallion arrived at a Los Angeles courthouse this morning where she testified about what she says happened on the night of July 12th, 2020. Performer Tory Lanez is accused of shooting her after a night out, but his attorney claims that he's innocent and that this is all just a case of jealousy. ABC's Zareen Shah was in the courtroom today. Zareen, what did Megan say happened that night?
Lindsay, it wasn't just what she said happened, it's how she said it. She was really emotional in court today. She said this story is not just about a shooting. This story is about who I had sex with. You remember yesterday the defense, they were really pitting her against her friend, talking about the fact that they shared intimate partners, multiple intimate partners. She said in court today, I had just done a song with Beyonce. I did something of my dreams and I was shot at. And she said, they're calling this the Megan Thee Stallion trial. I am not on trial. I wish he would have killed me. If I knew I would have to go through this torture, I wish he would have killed me. She did say a lot that was very, very important, aside from just some of the really emotional things that she said. She dropped some bombshell. She says that Tory offered her $1 million to keep quiet, that he said, please don't say anything. And that he told her, I was already caught with a gun. I'm on probation. She says he was not worried about her at all.
Wow, really dramatic testimony there. And what did Tory's attorney tell you that their goal was for the cross-examination today?
You know what, I asked him right before lunch. I said, so what's your goal? What do you hope to accomplish today? He said, we're going to show how she lies. And you could certainly tell sitting in that courtroom that that was their goal. The attorney said, the defense attorney said, you lied on national TV. Megan said, yes. He said, you lied to Detective Stogman. She said, yes. He said, you lied about having an intimate relationship with Tory. She said, yes. Look, we know that she has not been truthful about her intimate relationship with Tory. She now says that they did have an intimate relationship. And then the defense attorney pressed her on some really granular details. And there were some moments where she said, I don't remember. I could have. Maybe. You could tell that he was really trying to poke holes in her story, too, that she gave to her lawyers. He also said yesterday, Lindsay, and this was one of the most interesting things that I think he said yesterday, he said there was a witness who saw a female with a gun. It's a really important detail. And then my producer, Abby, saw the lawyer today, and she said, you know, can you clarify this? What do you mean about with a gun? And I pressed him upstairs about this as well. And he says, I said, do you mean holding a gun? And he said, no, with a gun. He basically meant in the vicinity of a gun, near a gun. Mind you, this is not something that the jurors know. They are still remembering what he said yesterday, that a witness saw a female with a gun. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens with that detail, if that's clarified for the jurors.
Such a steamy case. You actually have steam rising all around you. Zareen Shah, our thanks to you. A new artificial intelligence writing tool is upending the entire tech world. More than 1 million people are now using ChatGPT, but it's threatening to put millions of people like all of us out of work. ABC's Will Gans has the details.
It took Netflix more than 3 years to reach 1 million users, but it took ChatGPT just 5 days. Techies everywhere short-circuiting with excitement. OMG, ChatGPT is about to make my life 10 times easier. But what is it? ChatGPT is a state-of-the-art natural language processing model developed by OpenAI. It is specifically designed for conversational language and is capable of generating responses to input in a way that mimics human conversation. That description, by the way, comes from ChatGPT itself. We asked. Think of it as Google, but with more human-like features. Plus, it's free.
You can ask a very specific question like, give me 5 tips for how to use my camera. You can ask it to write a poem or a play or a song. It really can kind of comprehend almost any request. And then it spits out language that sounds like it was written by a human being.
We also asked it to write this entire script, which it did. But it didn't take into account that we'd need our expert to weigh in.
A lot of the headlines are that this might make Google obsolete. Do you see that possibly becoming reality?
If I were Google, I would be a little bit nervous just because this interface is sort of the thing that everybody has wanted forever.
For better or for worse, many educators are already worried about how ChatGPT might become a surrogate student when it comes to homework.
Kids could use this to grade something which a teacher could probably not identify as not having been written by a human.
OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, says it's using this technology responsibly. The bot won't answer any salacious questions, for example. But this is only the beginning.
There will be other companies who come up with similar technologies who don't care so much about being responsible.
Our thanks to Will Gans. Turning now to the world of golf and sneakers. That's right. Former golf teammates Olajuwon Ejanaku and Earl Cooper went from winning championships to winning the faith of Michael Jordan. The founders of Eastside Golf, it's the only brand to ever collaborate with Michael Jordan's Jordan Golf brand, and with a celebrity following from Chris Paul, DJ Khaled, and Dwayne Wade, these young men are making their mark in the $79 billion sneaker industry in their own unique way. Their journey all chronicled in their ABC News studio docuseries, Grails. Take a look.
They're not just sneakers. These sneakers tell stories.
I'm the king of the...
We're these guys
who want to reshape the culture of the game of golf.
From a black standpoint,
I've never seen anything like this before in my entire life.
When sneakers change the game, joining us now, Earl and Olajuwon. Such a pleasure to have you guys here in the studio with the gear on, no less.
Yes.
Very fitting. All right, so let's start off. What are Grails?
I mean, I think Grails is the highest mark, right? And for us to have an opportunity to tell our story on how the sneaker culture is changing the game, and specifically the game of golf, and how we're connecting it with so many different, as the celebrities you mentioned. It's just been an unbelievable journey to do this on a game that we love.
And Olajuwon just talked about, because you kind of mentioned changing the game, but this is really game changing for you guys and just like style wise. So let's talk about like the intersection of black culture with sneaker culture and golf.
Absolutely. Well, first off, it starts with our logo. I mean, representation is the most important thing in golf. It's something that really hasn't been shown once with Tiger Woods, but I mean, we're here to take it a step further, bring in the next generation and non-golfers to say, hey, this game is for you too.
And so explain to me the logo and what we see there.
Yeah, so I actually started the brand June 2019, but prior to that, I turned pro in golf for a couple of years right after college. Couldn't afford it. You know, it got to a point where I had taken up odd jobs and literally giving pitch decks on myself on why I should get sponsored. Couldn't find anybody and had to quit golf. So over the next 9 years, I was in commercial finance, was about to become VP of a finance firm out of San Diego. And I got home one day, I was just like, this ain't it. Like, I want to play golf, you know, but I knew it would be hard to find sponsors. So first things first, let me just make a logo that I see of myself, you know, jeans, sweatshirt, Cuban link chain. It was just supposed to be me. But now using that logo to actually put it on apparel and to now spread the game. Even on sneakers, the logo is on sneakers. I mean, it is a logo that will change everything about it.
This is the first ever collaboration with Jordan Golf, right? I mean,
Yes.
First of all, you guys, how did that happen? How did the deal happen with Jordan?
Yeah, so, I mean, from us marketing, from on Instagram or Twitter or TikTok, from us marketing, we would always stick to our guns. And what I mean by that is the politics in golf. I mean, we were telling the truth. We were telling what was wrong with it. We were telling where we see golf can go and what are the solutions. And a lot of celebrities and people that were just around the game gravitated towards us.
I neglected to say that you're the first African-American pro at those two country
So
clubs,
I was
right?
fortunate enough to be the first African-American golf pro at Detroit Golf Club in Detroit, Michigan, and also Wilmington Country Club, which was very special for me because that was my hometown. So to be able to have an experience in those two clubs and also be a PGA professional and also be one of the best young teachers in America, and Olajuwon being a professional golfer and having wins, we kind of just bring that together, and that also is what Eastside Golf represents. So,
curious, when you guys step on the fairway, are people still like, you guys are about to play golf? Like, are people still underestimating your skill, your ability?
All the time.
Yeah.
I mean, all the time. It's been like that since we were young. But, I mean, over time, you practice so much. You put in the 10,000 hours, as Earl would say,
right,
and you gain that confidence.
Yeah.
I mean, there gets a point where it's just you and the golf ball. We take exactly everything that we've learned and all that tenacity as well, and we take it onto the golf course with us.
And I think also it's an opportunity. I remember, working in those country clubs, it was an opportunity to reset the standard because being a first African-American, a lot of them have never engaged or spent that much time around an African-American, right? And so just working in the clubhouse and meeting those people, it was a learning experience for them, but also for me as well.
How would you all say that you're redefining the style of golf, right? Because there were very traditional collared shirts, khaki pants, right? That was, but now this is a little different.
We definitely respect the game, so we do have polo shirts. We do have shorts coming out and even joggers coming out with belt loops. But it's all about making clothes that can live on and off the golf course.
Really exciting, guys. Congratulations with all that you're doing and accomplishing, especially at such a young age as well. Olajuwon and Earl, we thank you both so much for joining us. Their ABC News Studios docuseries Grails is now available to watch on Hulu as of tomorrow.
Yes.
And before we go tonight, the image of the day. Argentina will be playing in the World Cup final after beating Croatia earlier today. Congratulations to Argentina. They'll play either Morocco or France. Stay tuned. And that is our show for this hour. Be sure to stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. Thanks so much for streaming with us. Coming up in the next hour, we're staying on top of a few things. The vaccine that could be a major step in the battle against a type of cancer. And getting up close and personal with Dr. Fauci as he prepares to leave public service.
With so much at stake in our world right now, we wanted to thank you for your trust and for making ABC News America's #1 news.
And thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
After an extraordinary news-making year, thank you for making ABC's This Week America's #1 news and politics show on Sunday mornings.
You never know what you're going to get on this show. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yes, Whoopi! Is this mic on? Can you hear me out there?
Behind the scenes is always a better show.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's what people don't see during the commercial break.
Right, they don't.
What happened?
I had no idea really what I was getting myself into.
That day that we walked out, I treasure that day. I couldn't sit there.
You're doing good, Joy. You're doing good.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It was crazy.
Behind the Table. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
From America's #1 news source comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter. And it can customize to you and your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience what all the buzz is about. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now. We're honored ABC's 2020 winner of 3 Emmy Awards for Excellence. Thank you for making 2020 Friday night's most watched and most honored news magazine.
This is where I belong. This is home. Real dirt in the sunlight again. I'm very excited. Anything could happen at any moment. My heart is so happy right now. We're making magic. We're making magic.
Hey there, I'm Lindsay Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us. We're monitoring several developments here at ABC News at this hour. Big news in the battle against cancer. Moderna and Merck announced a new mRNA cancer vaccine and established a cancer drug to reduce the recurrence and potential death of stage 3 and 4 melanoma in people with a high risk of the cancer returning. This is an area of research Moderna was doing before the COVID-19 vaccines and shows the continued hopes for the mRNA vaccine platform. Stellantis is recalling about 1.4 million pickup trucks worldwide because the tailgates may not close completely and cargo could spill onto the road. The recall covers the Ram 1500, 2500, and 3500 pickups from the 2019 to 2022 model years. The company, formerly known as Fiat Chrysler, said it found that striker plates on the pickups may not actually line up correctly to allow complete closure. Stellantis says it's not aware of any related crashes or injuries. 2 missing sailors who were last seen on December 3rd in North Carolina have been found safe off the coast of Delaware. The 2 men departed Cape May, New Jersey on their 30-foot sailboat and were headed to Marathon, Florida. We now know that their sailboat ran out of fuel and power, so they were unable to use their radios or navigation equipment. They and their dog will be reunited with their family after they are evaluated. And tonight, there is a major storm barreling across the country. More than 30 states are now on high alert, from California all the way to Maine. There are tornado watches and warnings, blizzard conditions, and possibly days of heavy snow ahead. Take a look at these treacherous conditions drivers faced in North Dakota. And tonight, the threat is moving east. Rob Marciano will have the forecast in a moment. But first, look at more of the images coming in from this massive storm.
Tonight, a massive multi-state severe weather outbreak now underway.
Oh my gosh.
This twister touching down near Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. Passengers in the terminal urged to shelter immediately. Just north in the city of Grapevine, roofs ripped apart, sheets of metal wrapped around power lines, and at least 5 people injured. Our Maria Villarreal is there.
The power is out here in the heart of Grapevine. Residents say the storm blew through here quickly, but it only took seconds to knock these power lines out and damage a number of businesses.
Dave Canis has lived there for more than 2 decades.
You can see the damage that it did just in an instant, which is incredible. I've never seen anything like that here in Grapevine.
Across the border in Wayne, Oklahoma, a confirmed EF2 tornado touching down there just before sunrise, with winds of at least 120 miles per hour. And on the cold side of the system, a blizzard. The blinding snow and winds gusting over 50 miles an hour, shutting down a portion of I-70 east of Denver to the Kansas state line. Officials in South Dakota shutting down more than 250 miles of I-90. As much as 2 feet of snow possible in the upper Midwest, this storm pushing all the way to the East Coast through the week.
Everyone getting a bit of a taste of winter now. Rob Marciano joins us now. Rob, time these storms out for us.
Well, we'll start with the tornado threat, Lindsay. That's the most dangerous part of this thing. What makes December tornadoes so tough is they're not driven like spring tornadoes. This has a strong sun. These tornadoes are driven by strong wind dynamics, which don't quit when the sun goes down. So we're just getting started with this, and it's going to continue well into the overnight and then really right through tomorrow. Multiple tornado watches and warnings have been posted all day long. We had a large tornado just southwest of Shreveport earlier today. That's dissipated, but more supercells are popping and crossing the Louisiana border at about 45 miles per hour. And all sags east and south overnight, and by tomorrow morning, it's just southeast of Alexandria, kind of stalling around Baton Rouge, where a wave develops along it. And that'll probably spawn more supercells, maybe right over New Orleans, then into Mobile, and then pushing slowly into the Florida Panhandle. Southern Alabama and Georgia will have severe storms as well into Thursday morning. And then that situation weakens, but the moisture and the wind and the cold with this, including snow, pushes up into the northeast late Thursday into Friday. Multiple inches of snow expected into interior parts of New York. Winter storm watches are now posted there, but this is nothing compared to what the Midwest has endured and is still enduring. Look at those blizzard warnings. We've got a couple of more that now added for parts of Minnesota, Duluth included, and we could see a couple more feet of snow on top of what we've already seen. So that means, 20 inches potentially in and around and outside of Rapid City in Duluth, Minnesota, and the winds will crank as well. So blinding, blowing snow probably continuing right through the weekend. But by far the most life-threatening, dangerous weather will be here in Louisiana tonight and tomorrow. Lindsay?
All right, Rob, our thanks to you. Next, he was once hailed a crypto genius, but tonight we have the latest chapter in the stunning fall of the founder and former CEO of cryptocurrency giant FTX. Sam Bankman-fried now faces fraud and other charges, accused of building a house of cards and stealing billions of dollars from investors and customers. Our chief business correspondent Rebecca Jarvis reports.
Tonight, the founder of FTX, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world, now charged in a scheme that investigators say stole billions of dollars from customers and investors.
This is one of the biggest financial frauds in American history.
Sam Bankman-fried fighting extradition from the Bahamas as he faces SEC charges and 8 counts of criminal fraud, including money laundering and wire fraud. The major political donor also accused of violating campaign finance laws.
He used that money for his personal benefit, including to make personal investments and to cover expenses and debts of his hedge fund, Alameda Research.
But in an interview with our George Stephanopoulos just 2 weeks ago, Bankman-fried repeatedly denied knowing FTX funds were improperly being used for his hedge fund, Alameda Research.
I don't know of FTX deposits being used to pay off Alameda creditors.
FTX customers alone were defrauded over $8 billion, according to federal authorities.
Are you worried about going to jail?
There are a lot of things that are worrying me right now. Let whatever, regulatory and legal processes are happening play out as they will.
The 30-year-old once celebrated as the poster child for transparency in crypto. His company, FTX, valued at $32 billion earlier this year, attracting amateur investors and partnering with celebs like Steph Curry and Tom Brady, but imploding nearly a month ago with FTX filing for bankruptcy and Bankman-fried stepping down as CEO. And tonight, the new FTX CEO, John Ray, testifying on Capitol Hill.
This is really old-fashioned embezzlement. This is just taking money from customers and using it for your own purpose. Not sophisticated at all.
Oh, thanks to Rebecca for that. The flu, COVID, and RSV are wreaking havoc on the country as we are now less than 2 weeks away from Christmas. Hospitals are overwhelmed. One in New Mexico has been forced to build triage tents outside in order to try to control the influx. Other states are now transferring patients out for care. ABC's Faith Abube is in Albuquerque tonight.
Tonight, an around-the-clock scramble in hospitals across the country. Doctors treating a crush of patients sick with the flu, COVID, and RSV.
We're seeing lots of very sick patients, lots of patients on the ventilators and the ICU.
The University of New Mexico Hospital is more strained now than during the peak of COVID. This triage tent set up to handle the overflow. Doctors have been treating 2-year-old Jazzy Gonzalez in the ICU for over 2 weeks while she battles RSV.
You could see her ribs, her skin sucking through her ribs. She had a lot of shoulder breathing.
Jazzy spent 8 days on a ventilator. She's still on oxygen, working to breathe on her own.
I don't think people take RSV very serious. I think they think it's just a little cold. And it's not. I could have lost my baby. And that reality setting in should be no mom's reality.
COVID cases are now surging, and flu-like activity is high across 43 states. In Mississippi, where there are just 85 ICU beds, hospitals are transferring some patients out of state. In Arizona and Michigan, they've ordered more pediatric cribs. Back in New Mexico, Jazzy just spent her second birthday in the hospital. Her mother hopes to have her home by Christmas. How is it seeing her like this?
It's heartbreaking, but on the brighter side of things, there's progress.
So glad to hear that she's improving. Faith Abube joins us now. Faith, doctors there are telling you that many of the children coming in need to go right to ICU care?
They are, Lindsay. They tell us some of these children even have all three viruses, RSV, COVID, and the flu at the same time. The doctors also want people to know that they can turn out around this triple-demic if they can just mask up indoors and get the flu and COVID vaccines heading into the holidays. Lindsay?
All three at a time. Just so difficult during this time here. Faith Abube, our thanks to you. Now to the celebration at the White House with thousands on the lawn to witness the enactment of the Respect for Marriage Act signed into law today by President Biden. ABC senior White House correspondent Mary Bruce was there and has more on the ceremony and on what the law does and doesn't do.
Today, in front of a joyous crowd of thousands, President Biden signing into law protections for same-sex and interracial marriage.
Today's a good day. A day America takes a vital step toward equality.
Biden today noting it's been 10 years since he publicly supported same-sex marriage ahead of his boss, then President Obama.
Marriage is a simple proposition. Who do you love? And will you be loyal to that person you love? It's not more complicated than that. The law recognizes that everyone should have the right to answer those questions for themselves without the government interference.
The Respect for Marriage Act is an effort to protect marriage after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in June. In his concurring opinion, Justice Clarence Thomas called on the court to reconsider decisions that legalized same-sex marriage. The new law does not guarantee the right to marry, but it does require states to honor and recognize all marriages.
It's one thing for the Supreme Court to rule on a case, but it's another thing entirely if elected representatives of the people to take a vote on the floor of the United States Congress and say loudly and clearly, love is love. Right is right. Justice is justice.
Our thanks to Mary for that. The final January 6th committee hearing will take place next Monday. Chairman Benny Thompson confirmed the committee will vote on criminal referrals and approve its final report, which is expected to be released 2 days later. Tonight, new research has found COVID-19 vaccines prevented more than 3 million additional deaths during the pandemic. And health officials like Dr. Anthony Fauci have been at the center of the effort to get people vaccinated and try to help end the pandemic. Tonight, our Dr. Jen Ashton is up close and personal with Dr. Fauci as he prepares to retire at 81 years old after decades in public service. How old do you feel?
I would say I feel about 40 and maybe the most 45.
Wow.
To most people, Dr. Anthony Fauci is known as the nation's leading infectious disease expert, navigating the country through AIDS, Ebola, Zika, and COVID-19. He's now leaving the job after more than half a century.
Every day for all of those years, I've given it everything that I have.
To me, Tony Fauci is someone whom I've known and interviewed for over 10 years. I was even one of the first correspondents allowed inside the Vaccine Research Center at the NIH just before the pandemic.
The ultimate target of the coronavirus is the respiratory tract, your lung.
Serving 7 presidents, Fauci defies the image of being over 80, managing the workload of someone half his age.
One of the things that I'm so fascinated about, and I think so many people are interested, is your vitality secrets.
We set out to investigate the secrets to Dr. Fauci's longevity, starting with his brisk daily walk.
Obvious healthy living is one of them.
Yeah.
But the other thing is a purpose of what you're doing, where you feel like you're doing something that has an impact and you get very energetic about it. And that kind of sustains you. I don't get bored. I don't ever get bored. Hi, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you.
Purpose and, he says, his father's good genes.
He died when he was 97. In his 90s, his skin was so smooth and normal, and he never did anything cosmetically to do it, but he just looked so young.
But it's not just genetics. Fauci's an avid runner and former high school basketball player and has always been athletic and fit. But what about his nutritional habits?
I don't do anything in excess. I don't eat a lot. I rarely eat lunch. I don't drink a lot.
He agreed to invite me into his kitchen.
Christine is a much more healthy cooker. Like last night, she made swordfish, and we have fish a lot. So I love pasta, so I have pasta a fair amount.
What's your feeling on salt in your food?
I have salt in my food. I like salt. I like particularly garlic salt. My blood pressure is 122/64 with a pulse of 52.
Okay. Now, you don't add any additional pepper?
A little garlic, that's all. I was hesitant to put the salt in because you were going to give me crap about the salt.
At almost 82, Dr. Fauci still maintains a demanding schedule, waking up at 5 a.m. and working up to 18 hours a day. Thank you so much for
It's great to have you.
With such long days, I wondered about his social support system. And for that, I turned to his wife of over 37 years, Dr. Christine Grady. He's got to have some annoying habit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, here's an annoying habit. Almost every night, dinner is finally ready. And where is Tony? At the computer. He was just here a minute ago, and he goes to check his email before the dinner.
Together, they have 3 kids. She's a trained nurse, has a PhD, and heads the NIH Department of Bioethics. She also lovingly and unofficially oversees her husband's health and wellness.
I was driving myself into the ground in the first few months of the COVID outbreak when you sort of said, all right, enough.
Well, because there was no end, right? There was no minute to rest. If I had said to him, you need to drink water, that wouldn't have happened. So I would go and put a glass of water in front of him, and then he'd drink it. Or the same with meals. And for sleep, I just said, okay, that's it. Computer's off, you gotta go to bed. So, I mean, things like that, which I think he needed at the time.
Dr. Fauci spent 54 years commuting here to the NIH, so I had to visit him at the labs that have kept him so sharp one last time. Right now, not big picture, but smaller picture, what's the rose and thorn of where you are today, where you are this month in your career?
So the rose of this all is to just get a good feeling about what we've accomplished and the work we've put in it, and the privilege of being surrounded by so many bright people and committed and passionate people. The thorn is that you always wish you could have done better. You wish you could have reacted more quickly, but that's not the dominant feeling.
How did it feel to you personally, given the enormity of your career in science and medicine and public health, to all of a sudden be, in some groups of the population, almost an enemy of the state?
Well, it obviously can't feel good, that's for sure. But the way I have essentially mitigated against that was to focus, as I say, like a laser beam on what my mission is, what my goal is, and what my responsibilities are, and to really phase out and not pay attention to what I call distractions.
Does Dr. Anthony Fauci get on social media?
No.
No, definitely not.
I've never had to resort to that now because of the relationship I've had, with the standard press to be able to communicate things. But there may be a time in the reasonable future where I would use that. I wouldn't rule that out.
You're about to be a grandfather for the first time next year.
Right.
What is that like for you, especially in this next chapter?
Well, it's about time, I guess.
How do you think you're going to feel that day, your official last day on the job?
I want to do things while I still have the passion and the energy and the, thank goodness, good health to do it. When I leave government, I have come and driven onto this campus every day, including almost every Saturday and occasionally Sundays every day for the last 54 years. So the idea of waking up one day saying I'm not going to drive on the campus, it's going to be an unusual feeling.
Dr. Fauci tells me getting older has given him new perspective on his future.
During the crisis of anthrax, during the early years of Ebola, during the years of COVID, time flies by because you're focusing like a laser on what you're doing, and all of a sudden, 2 weeks, 3 weeks go by, and you say, wait a minute, where did 2 weeks? Now, you're very cognizant of each day is sort of like a blessing. Each day, take each day, and don't say jump ahead by a month, because jump ahead by a month, you do the math, it's a certain fraction what you have left.
Right.
You know, maximize every day.
Fascinating look at Dr. Fauci there. Our thanks to Jen Ashton for that. Still to come, the allegations from Peru's ousted president in court today as the country is embroiled in constitutional chaos. Comedian Tom Papa tells us about his new Netflix stand-up special and why his jokes remind so many of their own lives. This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers
in Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
Here at the White House. Destructive Cat 4 storm.
Here along I-5. Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go. We made it.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7 straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
Bring them on. If only there was a place in the morning to start my day. With a smile, somewhere to help me get in the know. A place that's spectacular as well, me.
I think we might know a place, right, guys?
Bring your friends. Oh, wait, there is.
Good morning, America.
GMA, 7A, every day. Boom, boom, boom.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Robin. Good morning, America. How are you?
Boom. Now that's how you start your day, people.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 12 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
As of today, in a big way, we have inaugurated abcnews.com.
A lot has changed in our world since Peter made that announcement. But what hasn't changed is the commitment to groundbreaking reporting and innovation at abcnews.com. And here's to everything ahead.
Now streaming on ABC News Live 2020. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues, The Hunt. True crime 2020. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
Welcome back. We're tracking several headlines around the world. Ongoing constitutional chaos in Peru. Ousted President Pedro Castillo appeared at a preliminary appeal hearing where he said he had been arbitrarily arrested. Castillo was pushed out last week after lawmakers voted to remove him following his failed attempt to rule by decree and dissolve Congress in order to avoid a third impeachment vote. Recently, protesters have blocked roads, set fires, and even taken over airports. Police have come under criticism from human rights groups for use of firearms and tear gas. At least 7 people, mostly teenagers, have died. At least 50 people have been killed in the Democratic Republic of Congo's capital after heavy rains unleashed floods and caused landslides. Entire neighborhoods were flooded with muddy water, and images show a major road crowded with people and cars that suddenly dropped off at a steep dirt cliff. Poorly regulated rapid urbanization has made the capital of about 15 million people increasingly vulnerable to flash floods after intense rains, which have become more frequent due to climate change. Argentina has defeated Croatia 3-0 and is officially headed to the World Cup finals. It will be Argentina's 6th World Cup final appearance, but they haven't taken home the title since 1986. All eyes will be on Lionel Messi and his reputation of being the greatest ever despite not having a World Cup title yet. Argentina will take on whoever wins tomorrow between the Battle of France versus Morocco. For 2 decades, New Jersey native Tom Papa has been taking the stand-up world by storm. The comedian, actor, and radio host is now out with his 2nd Netflix stand-up special called Tom Papa, What a Day. Let's take a look.
My father bought my mother one of those weapons-grade jackhammer massage guns. Have you seen these things? These new torture devices they're just selling to old people to try on each other. No background check, no licensing, no training of any kind. My father just aimed it at my mother's shoulder and hit the trigger.
I kind of like those. Tom Papa joining us now here. I mean, that's a perfect Christmas gift, right? That was like kind of last year's. All right, so you filmed this special already this past fall in Boston. In the past, you've tackled, you know, love, marriage, family dynamics, some cultural issues. What can people expect now?
It's really just a very hopeful special. I really wanted it to be less cynical, a little more joy, I think we've been through a big thing together over the last couple of years, and it's just time to just let it out. I just stuffed it with jokes, mostly family, mostly my wife and my kids and my pug, and that's mostly our...
I think that we have a clip of you actually kind of bringing your daughter into it, so it seems like you kind of incorporate your real life experiences into your comedy, which I guess is a sign of a really good comic, but let's take a look.
My daughter came home from college, the first year from college, and I was like, oh, you're an adult now. Welcome home. Would you like some wine with dinner? You're a grown-up now. Welcome. How about some wine? She goes, no thanks, Dad. I don't drink. Oh, I don't like alcohol. Whoa, what a good dad I am. She said, I only smoke weed. Oh, how long you been doing that? Since I was a freshman in high school, she said.
That is great. All right, and so how does your daughter react to you being the butt of the joke here?
That joke, I actually asked for permission. Okay. I was like, are you okay with that one? And she said she was fine with it. I'm very careful, like, when I talk about the kids. It's funny that joke is about her smoking weed, and for their whole lives, I wouldn't talk about drugs at all on stage because I didn't want to influence the children. I had no idea she was doing it right down the hall.
And so, Tug, you also have your third book that's coming out. We're all in this together, so make room, right?
Yeah.
What can the readers take away from that?
It's a book of comedic essays. It's my third book, and it's really about that we are all in this together. So we've got to kind of settle in and just enjoy each other and learn from each other. Like, anything that you do has been done before. Like, any ailment, whenever I get something like a paper cut or something, I got to go to CVS and figure it out. It's shelves of problems that they've solved for other people. We're not alone. We always think that we're unique, but I mean, just raising 2 teenage daughters and being married, and I go out on stage and talk about it, and people come up and, are you in my living room? Like, how did you know exactly what I'm doing? Because we're all the same.
You have Breaking Bread with Tom, right?
Yeah.
And you have lots of different actors and comedians on that show. Who would be your dream guest?
Oh, man, I've had so many great ones. I mean, just there, Jim Gaffigan. I mean, Jim is kind of the perfect guest, because you want someone funny, someone's going to be open and share stories, but who also loves donuts. You know what I mean? It's really not,
Man after my own heart.
Yeah, right.
What else are you dabbling in? What can your fans expect?
I've got my new tour coming out next year. We're going everywhere. We're coming here to Town Hall. We're touring all over, and that'll be a whole new act and a whole new thing. I'm not even sure what it's going to be about, you know? I mean, the pug's still alive, so I guess I'll still be making jokes about him.
How thick a skin do you have to be a comedian? Because, I mean, it just feels like before you can get laughs, you bomb a little bit.
Yeah, you bomb a lot, but then, you know, I've been doing this for a long time, and it is a craft. It is something that, you know, I toured with Jerry Seinfeld for years, and he really taught me that this is a craft. This is something you can get better at. Just keep writing. Just keep mining it, which is really my favorite part.
The laughter makes everything a little bit better.
It does, it does. There's no situation that you can put out there that you can't laugh at to some degree. There really isn't. I mean, we all go through heavy stuff, but to be able to laugh at it a little bit, it's a quick, short little run we have here, so you might as well enjoy it.
Words to live by from Tom Papa. We thank you so much for joining us. Tom Papa, What a Day is now streaming on Netflix. And still to come, how an interaction through a Ring doorbell led a family on a journey to spread some Christmas cheer.
This was a terrible experience.
Ticketmaster gaslighting us. The website fully crashed.
Nightmare.
So what went wrong?
Everything.
This is really unprecedented.
All of these things were preventable.
Does any part of you blame Taylor?
Ticketmaster or whomever else has to figure out how to solve this before Beyonce announces her tour.
Taylor's Ticketmaster disaster. Impact by Nightline. Now streaming on Hulu. With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any place else. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir. America's #1 most watched newscast. Now streaming on ABC News Live. after an extraordinary news-making year. Thank you for making ABC's This Week America's #1 news and politics show on Sunday mornings.
Zoo! 200!
Oh, 200.
200 episodes of Dr. Pol. Music to my ears.
It's been 10 years, and I'm still having fun.
That rocks. He's got the moves that make your animals groove.
Now we do the dance of joy.
He's like the Justin Bieber of the
Headlining the hottest barns.
Shout out.
It's a show you won't want to miss.
I'm not going to be here forever. Maybe.
The Incredible Dr. Pol. New episodes Saturdays at 9 on Nat Geo Wild.
The Beatles, not the music group, but a family from southern Indiana, were surprised when a neighbor stopped by their doorstep. Thankfully, their Ring doorbell was recording, and the video has now gone viral, racking up nearly 5 million views in just a few days. ABC's Will Gans has the story.
This holiday season, Dustin and Aaron Beadle and their kiddos are making spirits bright.
I wanted to thank you for your Christmas decorations. They are so beautiful.
And being able to decorate our own house and have people enjoy it is heartwarming.
Our youngest is 3 and he's really getting into it. And
Christmas spirit runs in the Beadle family.
Dustin and his grandpa used to do big Christmas, to the point that it was in the news. They won awards. They blew Transformers in the neighborhood.
And now the real-life Griswold family's Christmas display is bringing that same Christmas cheer to a neighbor a little ways away.
We're getting old, but I want to tell you, every night I look out the back door and I see your decorations, and it just fills my heart with joy. So I just wanted to thank you.
Aaron was at work when Nancy rang the doorbell, holding back tears as she thanked the Beadle family.
I'm telling you, it's just beautiful.
But that small conversation sparked an idea. The Beatles asking permission from Nancy and her husband Tom to decorate their house with poinsettias and inflatable lights and garland.
Towards the end, though, Tom came and he was in tears, just looking at the lights and seeing how beautiful it was. And our 3-year-old wouldn't leave him alone. He just kept like, hold me. So we were out there kind of bonding for a little while.
Yeah, he said it brought back the Christmas spirit to him.
So sweet. Our thanks to the Beatles for sharing that holiday joy. And that is our show for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us. Have a great night.